Hello everyone, I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a phenomenal Monday. I have to say that my spirit guides are... I don't even know what to say. So I was going to make... I made 2 videos. One was interrupted by a tenant. And I tried to finish up the video, but total panic button, like button smusher, crazy, did not happen. And then I made it again. And then it didn't happen. So we're going to try this again, but we're going to talk about something else. I will just make a side note. I had some people comment why I don't have more viewers. And that's because this is a brand new channel. I was a founding member of Hesperitus Garden. It's an organization that I had to walk away from. It's in the process of dissolving, I guess, because it is a nonprofit. So that's doing that thing. Some things just don't work out, and that's the way that life's supposed to be. Just like this video wasn't working out, and that's the way that life's supposed to be. And it's funny because I was going to talk about integrity because it's so important, especially in a community where everybody has their own rules, that you have integrity and that your word is your bond, and that that's all you have, and your actions and your words. And if you don't do those and you don't live up to that, then you have no integrity, and it's just not going to work out. And at the end of the day, you have to be able to sleep in your own bed that you made. So, but I also feel sudden urge to talk about destiny, fate, and all of those kind of things. I worked with this coven, and it's still a coven. It's funny, we had everybody over. We had the 2 remaining members over for dinner on the Sabbath, and we have tattoos. And my husband is like, so you guys going to get those covered up? Because one of the remaining members doesn't have the tattoo, and the other member, who's no longer a part of the coven, has them. So there was this initial thing that all of us walked away from the coven, and really what happened is that she pushed herself out in the other direction. And anyways, talking about covering up the tattoos and this and that and all of these things and change and the challenges that we went through and the lessons that we learned, and it's all about being prepared. And I've always known that in the future I have a purpose. There's something that I'm working up to. I have faith in this. Some people call it destiny, some people call it whatever. When I was 11 years old and I walked from Lakewood to East Colfax with my other 11-year-old friend. And for those of you who are not familiar with Denver, Colfax is a not safe road. Like, as a grown-up with my younger siblings, I would not walk on Colfax with them, like, period. This is where, like, streetwalkers are and, like, bad things happen, okay? So me and my other 11 tiny little friend walked down the road and survived this. And I remember thinking later, as I was being yelled at by, like, every grown-up in the world about how dangerous what I had done was, I was like, well, why did I survive? And there was a moment where we had some creepo guy following us, and I was like, let's go in here. And I just instinctually was like, let's go into this hotel and find some lady to talk to. And we did. We walked over to some lady. I started talking to her. I don't even remember what I said to her. Like, I need directions, or how do you find the bathroom? Like, whatever. But we just stood there and talked to her for a minute, and I watched the creepo dude walk away. We hung out in the hotel for a while, and then we continued on our walk. But as an 11-year-old, to have that idea, like, this is what you need to do, go protect yourself, and surviving that, and some of the other, not many years later, I decided to stay out all night and hang out with gutter punks, transient, that's, some tramps, and again, survived that, unscathed. So there's many situations that I had put myself into at a very young age that were like, that's really dangerous. And looking back on it, like, as an adult, I'm like, oh, poor choice, poor decision making. But something brought me through that, and something made me, stronger and wiser. And there have been other challenges that I've faced throughout life that are like, why do I have to learn this lesson? Oh, I see now. Okay, so going through all of these things with Hesperitus Garden was that a lesson. And even though I think that 11 years ago when there was a major shift and I had gone to Dreamtime, this hippie festival, and my whole life changed after that. I think in that moment I should have realized then, but I didn't. I've always just wanted to have this organization that helps the pagan community, that is there to support these people, all of these people, you people watching, everybody. I don't care. You don't have to be pagan. I love giving out coats to people. We do an annual coat drive for the Denver Pagan Pride, and I hand out coats to the homeless people in the park. Like, literally turn around, I take those, turn around and go and hand them out to people in the park. And they're like, oh, may the God, God bless you. And I'm like, oh yeah, may the goddess bless you too. And it's just this funny situation that goes down when they're like, these pagans are giving us coats? And it's just like, yes, we can do this. This is the organization that I want to create. This is what I'm doing. So clearly that didn't work out. Now we're on to something new. And you have to take that as the lesson to move forward, because you have a path, you have a destiny, there is something there. And even if your path is just to interact with another person or to have a child, at one point I made a joke as I got a little bit older, even though I'm still really young. Like, you get to your 30s and you're like, wow, I'm really young still. But I made a joke, well, maybe one day it's my children who are meant to be like the first female president or like change the world. And maybe that's my destiny. And maybe it's your destiny to have a grandkid that's supposed to do something. But you set them up for that with the actions that you make now, because we are all a part of this continued web. And as you shift your mindset to begin to think of that, then even the mundane tasks become magical. Should I take the left or the right? Does this really change my day? Yes, it does. What does my instinct say? Okay, so you can't get so caught up in that moment and this thing and whatever baggage that you're holding on to. You have to learn from it. You have to grow from it. You have to be able to move forward from it and make that next step, because this is what we're doing. And, I used to joke all the time, like, being in Hesperides Garden and doing the organization, and this is like climbing a sandhill, and for every step up it's 5 steps down, and we have to work extra hard so that we learn the lessons. And it's almost ironic now to have to walk away from that and start something new, but I start this something new with all of this fertilizer and all of these pun on that, all of these lessons and all of this wisdom that I gained from working in this very challenging situation, and knowing that the next thing that I do will be that much stronger and that much better, and is the step that I'm meant to be on next. And so you have to let that transition happen. And transitions are so important. And as we're getting closer to the equinox, you're going to start to see in your own life more and more of those transitions and things that you're changing and have changed. And you need to harvest that energy. And sometimes things have to die and you have to let it go. I'm constantly singing that Frozen song to myself, let it go. Because it's true. And there's nothing more real than that. Like, it seems so silly to have this Disney cartoon movie that the theme song is so emotionally impactful for, like, all people. And I think that if in this time, as we're coming up on this harvest, and then we're going to move through to the last harvest, and that's it. Let it go. Make a list of the things that you need to let go, and let them go. Have a purging fire. Do whatever it is that you need to do to move forward, to transition. Write down the lessons that you've learned. Write down the challenges that you're facing. Move forward. Know that these challenges have been presented to you because you are on a path and you need to learn this lesson so that you can get up to the next stepping stone. You can do this. So, no matter what challenges you're faced with, like today, this is the 3rd time I've made a video, and it's way different than the first 2 videos, but ironically not. It's working. My spirit guides were like, nobody wants to hear that nonsense you're talking about. We need to talk about fate. We need to talk about destiny and moving forward and challenges and learning lessons and transitions. And that's what's happening right now in the energy. And as we're coming up on this next full moon that's happening in that energy, and then even more so with the transition of the equinox, like that's big buku transition. And at that moment is when you need to start decide, like, what am I letting go of? Why am I holding on to these things? What energy can I harvest so that it can be transformed into something new? So I challenge you to do that and start thinking about that and start changing your mindset from, oh, all this crappy stuff is happening and I'm facing all of these challenges, to these challenges have made me prepared for what is next, and let me start looking to what's forward and let it go. And if you need to, play that Disney song. I can't because I don't have rights to it, but you could totally do it. So I'm not going to talk anymore because I feel like then the fairies will just push the button again while I'm looking. Like that, it was just crazy funny. So I hope everybody has a great Monday. Know that you learn from your mistakes and your challenges and even your successes so that you can be on the path that you're meant to be on. So have faith in yourself and have faith in your path and let it go. And don't forget to subscribe. Push the little button. Like, subscribe, the little bell dingy thing. It's important. It really helps us out for all of the channels you watch. So have a great day.